pretty incredible. And then how do you see, I don't like the way in which nutrition impacts like mental health, right? We know that, but I think that you can probably speak to it better than I can. I'm just curious your thoughts around it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, what I've come to understand and what I've seen is that there are a lot of, food that we eat every single day that activates a lot of parts of our brain and our body that's related to our dopamine response, right? And our need for more, right? And it creates this impulsivity within us, where it drives our behavior. So when we're thinking about mental health, we're thinking about all the things that could, adversely, affect our behavior, whether our drive, our motivation, right? And so there are certain foods, whether it be sugar or foods that are high in fat, or, consuming alcohol, like knowing what all of the biochemical effects of these toxins can have on our body, and then how it informs how we think and how we move. And so, for me, the nutrition is, building a relationship and a good relationship to food, and understanding how they work on your brain and your body. And so a lot of times, in talk therapy, we sit and we have these conversations that are quite robust around, like, these are how you stop your thinking, or this is how you, journal, or this is kind of like what you do to deal with this thought or this narrative. And then at the same time, you can be eating an unhealthy snack, or you can be eating like tons of sugar, and you have absolutely no control over your emotions at this point, or what the next decision is, because your brain and your body is connected to that response.
Makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
So what I've learned over time and what I've seen is that you have to be aware of your decisions around not only, your movement, but also your choices around what you eat, because it has a direct effect on your thinking and your process, your brain, your drive, and creating new cells, increasing your brain's neuroplasticity. So there's a lot of depth there, and I don't go into too much about that, but I encourage folks to understand as much as you can about nutrition and psychotropic medications, because there's a lot of science and a lot of information that's directly tied to, if you just make smarter choices, you can decrease symptoms significantly. There being depression, schizophrenia, those kind of problems that people face. So
makes sense.
Very important to learn as much as we can.
Absolutely. Do you feel like you learned a lot about nutrition in like your undergraduate, or is that just more of like your own kind of research throughout recovery?
Well, it's been my own research and hunger, if you will, for knowledge of dealing with my own challenges, or my clients' challenges, and so that's kind of how I've gone about, not necessarily recovery, but just recovery in life, if you will, or just wanting to learn as much as I can so that I can provide as much care and support to my clients.
Yeah, and it sounds like, that nutrition kind of lens on the impact of mental health, you could use in both of your hats, right? Like, yes, it's going to impact how you physically look. Sure, I hear that. But this is really what you want to be more concerned about here. This is why it's harder to get up. This is why you feel worse about yourself. This is this is why you don't feel good, right? Not just because you ate a bag of chips. This is the impact that causes. And I'm not trying to shame you. I'm kind of giving you information, I think is different here. You want to be informed.
Right.
Yeah. Have you, this is my own kind of thirst for knowledge as well. Like there's, a lot of research. I know a while ago we had spoken about, I can never say this, like the way in which like the gut is impacted by mood as well. Right. Do you kind of go over that with clients too, about obviously there's, I know some of those food, but also, your gut is like mainly serotonin as well.
Yeah. I mean, yes, we have those conversations, and we, again, we break down the biochemical effects of just certain food and how it plays a role in your health, your gut, having a healthy gut, the different things that you can do, the different types of food that you can eat, the things that actually, the foods that feed your cell, whether polyphenols or like, you know, foods that are high in omega-3s or omega-6s. Those are going to be things that are going to feed your gut microbiome and feed your brain. We talk about those things kind of in broad strokes, right?
Sure.
But then
Sure.
also, you know, what I do, because I'm not a nutritionist, I try to veer away from like being I'm not the expert there, but I encourage my clients or others, you know, my clients in the mental health world or the coaching world to seek out those resources and to do their own research or read an article that I've, you know, read or like do this, you know, research it, find the science around it. So that's another thing. I coach them on being their own advocate.
Makes sense.
And
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, it really, I think that on a personal level for me, when I understood, yes, maybe I'll gain weight or won't be able to lift as much, that will bother me. But really, it's much more about like how I actually feel on the daily when I choose to not eat well. And it doesn't mean that I don't make choices that don't benefit me. I absolutely do. Right. But I think it's having that awareness of like, maybe that is why my mood is tanked for a few days. Maybe that's why I don't feel good. Not in a shameful way, right? There's a very big paradigm shift of like, that has impacted my mood. And that's okay. And it's perspective to have, right? Versus I think my big fear for years in working with trainers, especially from like a male trainer, is the idea of like shame and not kind of holistic care. And it sounds like you've taken a very different approach to that with clients. Yeah.